Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show. Whether it's the guests or the callers, Talkback is where Central Louisiana begins its conversation.
Well, good morning. Happy Tuesday to everybody. Feels like a Monday if you had yesterday off, but it's a special day in here as we have a special guest with us. Trisha LaLove is joining, and rounding out the trio of hosts as Stephen Maxwell slips his way in here. He was going to be out doing a live shoot this morning, reporting live from the chaos in Kingsville.
I'm not supposed to be here, but I am.
I know.
Yeah.
I was here in a filling capacity.
Yeah. They delayed the chaos till 9 o'clock, so Steven's here now.
He's talking about the 165, 167 interchange, so I was going to be out there doing some reports, but it doesn't start till 9, but I got something out of it here at 7. You can look at it.
Okay, well,
some video.
You could have told me. I would have at least looked at it.
The calm before the storm.
The calm before. They're right now. If people are confused. The problem is they're probably so confused right now. They're like,
that?
can I go this way? Can I not? Which way do I go today?
For another hour and a half. So,
there you go.
Yeah, we'll be out there at 9 o'clock, though. What I mean by we is me.
I started to say, I didn't know I was invited.
Coming, you probably should go. I can just get an interview with you. You are
That's true. You are an official over there.
I know nothing. I know. I'm into the Schultz thing.
I feel like the we, though, is he and his camera.
That's true.
That's the we there because
his camera has a personality.
Yeah.
I mean, it moves its head and...
I need to name it is what I need to do.
That's what you need to do.
I named my one at LC named Jimmy.
Okay, I remember you and Al talking about that. Jimmy's still sitting on the shelf somewhere, right? You were asking him for...
I need Jimmy. It's like a relic of my life.
It reminds me of the years I served on the Louisiana Municipal Association Board. We always call it LMA.
Right.
And so one of the mayors made the joke one year that he kept telling the secretary, he was in South Louisiana mayor, he kept telling the secretary, I got to go to LMA, I'm going to go see LMA, I'm going to go to LMA. And after a while, she's like, who is this Ellie Mae you're going to see all the time? I thought she was having an affair or something with Ellie Mae, So, got to be careful with the names that you give your sidekicks there. Jedediah, or something like that.
Carl.
That's the good one.
Well, it's Tuesday morning, everybody.
Stephen was going to be in here because I thought, well, even if Nathan didn't watch any college football over the weekend, I'd have somebody to talk college football with since Al's not here today. And then Stephen pipes up. He's like, I know zero.
I know like 10% of what I should know. Like, I know that LSU won. I know that North Carolina lost. And that's about the extent of my knowledge.
I'm pretty close to you, right? I did watch the entire LSU game. I did see that.
There you go.
One of the games earlier.
I did too.
I bet you watched more than just that game.
I did. I spent the whole weekend in front of the TV with football. This is like the best weekend ever.
Yeah, that's
kickoff weekend. And this one was even better because, of course, you had all of everything surrounding Lee Corso and his last game day and his last headgear selection, which, of course, was near and dear to my heart also.
OH.
Right. IO. That was... it would have been so amazing to be on campus. Did you see... I mean, at least maybe you've seen pictures of the crowds that were all over the place on campus on Saturday for him.
I didn't see it, no.
You didn't see any of it, right?
No.
Goodness. And then they moved inside the stadium for the last hour of the show. They moved him inside the stadium. And then they kept talking about how this is going to be a headgear selection like you've never seen before. Well, if you know anything about Ohio State, I don't know if either of you do, the marching band is what?
The Buckeyes, the Fighting Buckeyes.
I don't know if I can say the whole thing on the radio. I don't know the words you're allowed to say on the radio, the words you're not. But anyway, the best band in the land.
Okay.
And I mean, the Ohio State band is amazing. And if you've never watched them, it is something to put on your bucket list to go to the Horseshoe, watch the band do the Script Ohio. It is amazing. And so the biggest honor is being the person selected to dot the I. So they kept talking about it, and the band was coming on the field, and the band was playing, and all this was happening, and I was sitting there going, oh, my gosh, if he goes out there and dots the I, I'm going to lose it, and I'm going to bawl like for days. That is going to be amazing.
You've got to set up.
He didn't quite do that.
Gosh.
He didn't quite do that. But what did happen was the band spelled out Corso.
Oh.
They put him right there on the 50-yard line with the whole crew, and then guess what his headgear selection was?
Of course.
Of course.
Ohio.
His very first selection and his very last selection.
Oh, really?
Oh, really? That was his first when he first started doing it?
Yeah, his very first headgear selection was Brutus the Buckeye, and it happened courtesy of, Kirk Herbstreit, who had just joined the show how many years prior when he was like 16 he
I
looked like.
started to say, yeah,
but
he was 7.
He was like 25 or something. Well, Kirk's wife was a cheerleader.
Okay.
And he asked her, he said, hey, do you think your wife could maybe somehow get us the Brutus ahead so that I could put that on? And when he did, that changed everything. I mean, College Game Day now is about who did Corso pick? What headgear did he put on, right?
What's his winning percentage with the headgear?
They had all of those stats, like the number of stats they had during the show that day.
Sure.
But here's the really, really cool thing. All of his picks from Saturday morning ended up winning.
No way.
Yep. He came down to Miami beating Notre Dame.
What a way to go out.
But, yeah. And every school that he either coached or played for won. Like, how cool is that?
That is really impressive. I mean, that's one of those nostalgic deja vu, God wink moments, you know?
Yep, exactly.
Where did he coach? I didn't even know he was a coach.
Yeah, he used to coach all the things, you know? And then when he joined that show, I can't even remember what year it was, but again, you look at those things, and they showed all those old clips of when it started and all that stuff. Like, it is so nostalgic. It's very, very cool. But anyway, everybody's team seemed to fare well. I mean, yes, LSU, give it up, right? Over Clemson. Yeah. That was awesome.
1987, it says, is when it's a long time ago.
I was not even in high school yet. And I mean, I'm going to hear from Steven.
I didn't know College Game Day was that old.
I didn't either. It said that Corso is best known for appearing on ESPN's College Game Day since its inception in 1987.
And you know what was really...
I know that.
Like all the things that tug at your heart, they did a segment during the show on College Game Day. There were only 2 people that were still there that had started when the show originated, and the other one was a producer, and he just passed away this summer.
Oh no!
Well, I know that that's 38 years ago because I was married in 1987.
Were you really?
I have to remember that. Yeah, I have to remember those years. So
yeah.
In fact, I was laughing Sunday. I made a joke about how long they've been married. My wife couldn't remember. Actually, it's 38. It's 38.
I mean, it's kind of like at some point in time, I mean, I know I'm celebrating my 30th year this year, so that's very easy to remember. Yeah. But your age is one of those things, and you're not there yet, Steven. But it's kind of like, I don't know, after 40 and then again after 50, you just don't even know.
I have to think about it now.
I can't tell you how old I am.
Like 30, I have to think about 31 or 32.
Well,
and my wife was like, well, how old are you again? I was like, I think I'm 32, you know?
Yeah. And my year is not an easy math year in your brain to do because I don't do math in my brain. Now, if I was born like my husband in an even year, then it's easy. But mine's not. So I don't want to do the math.
Tell us your year so we can celebrate and do the math.
73 was my year.
Yeah, that's a hard year.
I know.
Threes are hard to do with complicated math.
Zeros and fives, right? Or even twos.
Yeah, I was a 65. Al Portermont and I were both 65. In fact, Al's got a birthday coming up here shortly, right? Steven, you're supposed to know this stuff.
You're supposed to know everything, right?
That's your pit grill buddy.
Yeah, I know. Pit grill. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Well, look. All right, but you do have to go on and at least look through Twitter for all the memes after the UNC game last night because almost like Arch Manning and all the hype on Texas and Ohio State, the Bill Belichick game last night, I tried to stay awake to watch the whole thing, and finally after it went up like 34-7, I just called it a night.
Oof.
Yeah. Like,
he's got other things on his mind.
We're going to try to come back to that.
Belichick.
But we want to see if we can fit this phone call in. Good morning. You're on Talk Back with Steven, Trish, and Nathan.
Yeah, what was the traffic problem this morning?
So that's the intersection.
Nobody cares.
Thank you very much. Well, I was going to try to be, those who will be stuck in it after 9 o'clock will care.
I thought I recognized the voice. I'm like, why does he even care?
Yes. So I will say it right now. The Ohio State Marching Band is the best damn band in the land.
There you go.
That's how we do it.
Yep.
I do think you can say the best Hoover Dam band in the land. I think you can. I think that's legal for radio.
No, sir. No, sir. You said it wrong. No, sir.
I was trying to be FCC compliant.
Because they kept showing the time that Corso dropped the F-bomb live on TV one time. Yeah. So, hey.
Do they have a count for those?
I know.
No, just the once, but that was early in his career. I can't believe they let that one fly.
Yep.
But, yeah, I forgot all about that one. But, oh, yeah. Hey, did you see where Ryan Day gave him the helmet?
Yes, I did.
With all the
with the extra sticker.
Cool. Yeah.
After he called.
Yeah, like you do it.
Yep.
Oh
yeah. That was awesome.
Yeah, not so fast, my friend.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Yep. Awesome.
Amazing game.
But anyhow,
Amazing game.
yeah. Oh my gosh, I got my voice back yesterday.
Well, we're glad.
Well, yeah, I mean, I did start to feel bad because all the buildup, like, I mean, Arch Manning, and I get it, like, he was not the one causing the buildup. It was everybody else causing this whole buildup about him and, you know, this legacy that he's carrying on and how amazing he's going to be and all that kind of stuff. And he could not have been more flat in that game than what he was. I mean,
All right.
Ugh, bless his heart.
ESPN canceled the Heisman Trophy Award at halftime because he didn't do so good. I mean, come on. Yeah, poor guy. Hey, Trish, you know when everybody does the hook and horns now?
Yeah.
Do you know what that means now?
What?
You lost to Ohio State twice.
That's pretty good. Pretty good.
All right.
All right.
Later.
Thanks.
Hey, thank you for that phone call. We got another one on the line. Let's go to it real quick. Good morning. You on Talkback with Steve and Trish and Nathan.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for taking my call. I wanted to get this in while Trish was there. First of all, for Arch Manning, I think the play calling was poor. You know, he didn't have the great game, but man, it's like, why are you not using this guy who's supposed to be the great? I mean, they paid over $1 million a year last year for him. Anyways, I thought the play calling could have been better. For Ohio State, first of all the stickers on their helmets. What is that sticker?
It's every time, and I'm not a football. I've never played football.
I know it's given for great plays and stuff. I know why you give the stickers.
Yeah.
What is the sticker?
Oh, it's a Buckeye. It's a Buckeye.
What's a Buckeye?
I know you're trying to goat me into saying what a Buckeye is.
Oh, I thought it was like.
No, I'm honestly, because it looks like.
It looks like cannabis.
Well, it looks like a marijuana leaf. Yes, it does.
What it looks like.
And it's a worthless nut. If you look it up, the definition of a Buckeye is a worthless nut. So, you know.
Then why would they name their school that? Why would they choose that as their mascot?
I have no clue why. I don't.
You don't know the history of that?
I don't. I grew up like everything Ohio State, but I don't know the history of why they decided to call them the Buckeyes. I don't know.
Oh, man.
Usually I get the pressure of why are you Tigers and not like War Eagles, or why are you like 5 different things? I know how to defend that, but
I mean, Ohio was known as the Buckeye State forever.
Well, it is the Buckeye State still. Like it is the Buckeye State. That's what's on the license plate. That's what it's the Buckeye
useless
State.
Nut state.
That's the worst. Yeah, right.
Sorry.
It looks like a marijuana leaf.
They should just roll with the marijuana leaf. Call it a day.
So that's the leaf of the tree that bears the worthless nuts?
Yes, it is.
Thank you for solving that mystery. I'm 62 years old. I have always tried to figure out what that was, and I never was able to. Thank you. Y'all have a great day.
With that mystery solved, we'll be right back after this break.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics with 27 providers and 3 locations. Someone can see you today. Stick around. More of Talkback is on the way.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Futures are pointing to a lower open for Wall Street on this Tuesday morning as U.S. traders return following the long holiday weekend. August was positive overall for stocks, but the record-breaking rally faces a pivotal test this month. Job numbers, inflation data, and the Fed's rate cut decision are all happening within the next 3 weeks. Walmart Plus members are getting a new video streaming perk. Starting in mid-September, subscribers will have complimentary access to Comcast's Peacock Premium channel. They already get Paramount Plus Essential for free. Walmart Plus members will now be able to switch between the 2 services every 90 days. Pumpkin spice is back on menus, and even though the calendar still says summer, consumers are apparently ready for a taste of fall. Starbucks CEO Brian Niccol told workers in a memo that the fall menu lineup, which includes the pumpkin spice latte, fueled a record-breaking sales week in the U.S. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
Our Labor Day Monday, a nice day with sunny skies, 91 for the afternoon high, and we'll see winds out of the east, only about 5 miles an hour. Tonight, partly cloudy, but down to 69 for the overnight low. Then for Tuesday, another nice day, sunny skies, highs 91, with a slight chance of an afternoon shower or thunderstorm in the forecast. Or Tuesday, more sunshine, highs near 91 on Wednesday. From the Cenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Gratian.
If you'd like to take part in the show today, call the BOM Bank Talk line at 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. And remember, if you're looking to purchase or refinance your home, call Christina Bagwell at the BOM Bank Mortgage Department at 448-2430.
Now back to Talkback, 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
The on-screen foolishness continues on
There we go.
KSYL
There we
with
go.
Facebook and YouTube. You can join us there at any time. Also, you can call the BOM talk line at 318-442-8255. Graciously provided to you by BOM Bank in all over Central Louisiana. So we appreciate their sponsorship of the show. Give us a call and let us know what's on your mind. Trish, you had something breaking. Not breaking.
Well, it's not breaking. No, but it was a real question for you. Because if you did actually pay attention to the North Carolina TCU game last night, and you stuck with it to the fourth quarter. So Herb Street had a hot mic moment there, which, all of us up here have had a hot mic moment or two, I know. And they kept trying to make it sound like he said something that he didn't. Basically, he was commenting to one of the people,
to his spotter.
To his spotter, like you're bad, you're bad. Just something that he commented to him, and they were like, "Oh no, he was saying that they're bad," talking about UNC because they kind of were last night. But then Herb Street came back and made a tweet about, look, announce especially the number of games that they all did over the course of the weekend. I mean, you started out on Thursday night, all the way through Monday night. And then how do you, and this is my question for you, Nathan, because you do this. I don't know, do you do this anymore, Stephen? But when you're announcing a game like that, and I mean, the first drive UNC had was great, and you thought, oh, this is going to be a great game. And then after that, it was nothing.
It's hard.
It was all TCU. And I mean, there's just nothing. What do you talk about? How do you fill the time when the stands are completely empty? Yeah. I mean, I watched in the third quarter when the score went up 34-7. That stadium had like 5 people left in it. And you're still sitting there. You still have 8 minutes left in the third quarter. You have a whole fourth quarter.
You got a national audience. You have to keep entertained somehow, hoping, because the sponsors are paid for the spots.
Right.
It's hard. I'm not a professional at all in any stretch of the imagination, part-timer, but I've been doing it for over 20 years.
Yeah.
So I will say in those blowout moments, you're looking for, I mean, you'll talk about the hot dog sales night. You will find something. Did you see that lady down there with that hat? It looks like Mayor Gil Wilkie. I don't know if she came to this game or not, but that hat sure reminds, you find something to talk about.
Something outside of what's going on down the field. Huh?
And especially like for the years that I've done it, except for Sweet 16 and Top 28, when I go to the playoffs, I sometimes get hired by people that I'm neutral, but most of the time, 95% of the time, I'm a homer. I'm broadcasting for a team.
Right.
And when your team is being blown out, it's really tough because you can't disparage. You don't want to disparage. You never want to say something bad about a kid,
Right.
So, oh, that was a tough play. I know he sure wishes he had that one back. I'm so glad these guys are working so hard. I'm sure in the off season they're going to take some, you're just doing what you can.
And the same thing, because you got to feel bad for those kids down there. I mean, he recruited in 70 new players on that team that came there to play for him. I mean, again, he is Bill Belichick.
Absolutely.
Wherever his brain space is aside, like the memes about his girlfriend, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
And I mean, even to start the game, the guy can't smile.
No, he didn't know how to smile.
Like, he's coming out looking like he's just in the worst place in the world because he has no expression on his face whatsoever. But then to just be handed a game like that. But I did feel bad for the announcers that they've got to sit up there and keep this going.
Well, thank you for that sympathy. That's nice to know that some people feel bad for sometimes. Oh, man, that had to have been brutal for them. We were doing an ESPN draft last night, so fantasy football draft last night. So
very fun. You were having more fun.
I was having a lot more fun than those
North Carolina fan was.
And we had a live video chat going for some of us who were there last night in the.
Are you looking at Stephen in a certain way?
Well, I was in the car. We had an open house at my daughter's daycare, so I was kind of back and forth, and it was at night for some reason. So
the open house,
yeah. And then I didn't have my makeup on. So wasn't really in the right spot.
Ask Stephen.
I kind of like to lounge around. What? Fire Jerry?
That's his team name.
Fire Jerry. I did see a meme about that the other day too that had me laughing because I had to read it twice because it was like, did you see that on Twitter? It was like breaking news. Jerry has been found, and you discover alive in his home at age of 80. And it was the big picture of him.
That's the ones I saw. Well, I won't go there anyway.
Let's go back to the phone lines. Good morning. You're on Talkback with Trish, Stephen, and Nathan.
Yeah, well, the most important question of the day is what happens when the college bands start having portals so that they can move their players around.
Wow.
Hey.
The college bands?
There you go. Because everybody wants to aspire to those big bands.
Well, I mean, the SWAC conference has some of the most innovative bands on the face of the earth. They really jive.
No, there's no doubt. Some of the bands are phenomenal entertainment.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And I mean, if you look at SWAC, they don't get any TV time like, say, Ohio State or LSU or whoever.
Capitalism, you got to compete, baby.
Well, I mean, it's the teams and the football teams that you have. They just don't pull the same strength as Southern Cal, for example.
I'll tell you though, those folks who follow those bands, that there'll be sometimes more people go to watch the band than to watch the game because the bands are so entertaining.
Yeah, that's true. Now, I was going to ask about Chicago. Now, we know that it has an extremely high murder rate and various different crime issues. Maybe not the worst in the world, but certainly very bad. What about the rest of it? Where is the bad place in Chicago that you have to stay away from?
Well, ask Trish that question because she's got an investment in Chicago every month that she pays on.
Yeah, I don't pay. She's on her own.
Oh, okay.
She's a fully grown adult now. She pays her own way, but yeah.
Oh,
no,
she lives
Southside
in
Chicago,
okay.
She does not, there is a line that she just doesn't go past. But I know every day.
So Southside is where you stay away from.
I mean, for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They had that big protest there yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Protest against what?
The Trump administration. I think the mayor led it. What's his name? Brandon Brown?
I don't remember his name right now, but yeah. Yeah.
I wonder if he'd walk through the South Side or wherever the bad place is without an armed escort.
Right. Well, because I do know they have a lot of it. We've been up there before where even in the downtown area, there's always something going on and the police presence will be huge. But he just signed something the other day I saw to where if President Trump does send in the National Guard, he will not allow his police force to interact with them or help them or be assisted by the National Guard.
Mayor Brandon Johnson is the...
Brandon Johnson.
Yeah, you got Brandon right.
Yeah.
Well, hey, caller, thank you. We need to take a break. We're going to come back with none other than the inimitable Wilbert Carmouche right after this.
KSYL. Starting a business can be overwhelming, especially when you do it alone. Don't do it alone. Take control of your future with a Janney King Gulf Coast franchise. With Janney King, you get guaranteed initial growth, reliable operational support, and ongoing education to set you up for success. Janney King has built a proven system that gives you the tools to take control of your future confidently and with the support you need to thrive. The future is yours today at JannyKingCleans.com.
Janney King, the king of clean.
Tired of noisy neighbors? Want to keep pets in and problems out? Sounds like you need a Promo Fence. At Promo Fencing and Lawn Care, our fences don't just work, they wow. From classic cedar and pine privacy fences to durable chain link, sleek metal, and aluminum, even decorative fencing. We've got something for every home, yard, or business, big or small, residential or commercial, all with free estimates, expert installs, and small town customer care. Promo Fencing and Lawn Care, fences that feel like home.
A message from Israel Air Conditioning and Heating.
Yeah, my mama, she told me to pick up and call Israel Air.
She told me Israel Air. She told me.
She said they'll come running with comfort beyond compare.
And a very fair price.
Because you know we're all about your comfort, no troubles. Call 442-6657. That's 442-6657. We're all about your comfort.
Moms and dads, do you wish you could know where your kids' shoes are at all times? Now you can with Skechers' newest Apple AirTag compatible sneakers, Find My Skechers. There's a clever hidden AirTag compartment under the shoe's insole. It's sleek, secure, and your child can't feel or see it. Then you can check where your kids' shoes are on the Find My app. Plus, they're available for boys and girls. Get Find My Skechers at Skechers.com, a Skechers store near you, or wherever kids' shoes are sold. Apple AirTags sold separately.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at VaxAssist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Nudge 70 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO. To take part in the show, call 442-8255. That's 442-TALK-back.
Welcome back to Talk Back. We're having fun catching up with Wilbert Carmouche from the great state of Avoyelles. Da Parish is in the town. He's in the house today, and he's going to update us on all things regarding Avoyelles. Good morning, sir.
Absolutely. Good morning. And you said the great state of Avoyelles.
I did.
It's from what I'm understanding, it's the free state of Avoyelles.
Oh, the free state.
Here. According to, what's the guy that Paul Harvey.
Oh.
That he had termed it the free state of Avoyelles when he had visited here many years ago.
No way.
Have to remember that.
Yeah.
That's cool. It's actually Centre de Louisiane.
Centre de Louisiane.
Get out of here.
That was not even the...
That was good, though. Huh?
Yes, but that was not even that then. And I did not meet Paul Harvey when he came because I didn't even know about tourism at that time.
But you've learned a thing since then, though.
Exactly. We've got wonderful events that happen. And, of course, I have to keep reminding myself that today is not Monday.
I know. It's very confusing.
It is.
It is.
You know, because, in fact, normally we have Rotary on Mondays, so I don't pack a lunch on Mondays. Mm-hmm. So guess what?
You don't need to pack a lunch in Avoyelles Parish. There's too much to eat.
Yeah, exactly. But that's not enough time sometimes because I like to enjoy it. Wine down Wednesdays at Bailey's and casual Cajun suppers at La Petite Cafe. That's the Wednesday evenings in September. The only snafu on this is that tomorrow Bailey's is not going to be open because they have a private event that they're setting up for. But casual Cajun suppers at La Petite starts tomorrow night again, and that's every Wednesday in the month of September. And Stephen, you've been to La Petite, so you can attest to the fine food that they have there.
I mean, just the atmosphere, the food, 10 out of 10. Can't wait to go back.
Absolutely. Well, it's time. You keep watching them on Facebook, and you'll see what they're cooking in the kitchen.
I always like and comment on their stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Chubby Checker in concert over at Paragon Casino Resort. That's this Saturday, September 6th, 8 p.m. The doors will open at 7. Get your tickets from ParagonCasinoResort.com. Bingo at Christ the King Catholic Church in Simsport, September 7th. That is Sunday, beginning at noon. LaRue Summit. For your listening audience, this is something that your listeners may be interested in. It's at Paragon Casino Resort, and it's hosted by the Tunica Biloxi Tribe of Louisiana. You go to www.larue, that's LARUE.LA for registration. It's a free registration for a 2-day rural economic summit that they're going to have there. So it benefits the businesses or the entrepreneurs that are coming in, telling them all about the resources that are available and what constitutes and brings up economic development in Avoyelles, Central Louisiana, and the Louisiana area. So, and of course, keyword is free registration.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's worked by different panels that come in, and they tell you if, let's say, funding opportunities or guidelines, so and then one of the panels is, of course, how tourism and arts or in economical impact and culture on the local area. So there's a panel dedicated to that as well. So that's next Monday and Tuesday, larue.la for registration. Plein Air Avoyelles, and that's hosted by the Avoyelles Arts Council. That's September 13th, starts at 9 a.m. in the morning. You can call Glenn at 264-1826 for more details. And there's a youth division this year as well. The only thing is that you will, an adult or guardian will have to be with the youth when they're out painting, because, you just come out and you pick your landscape or pick a building building, an architectural point or something, you paint it between 9 and 3, come back, you bring your painting in, it's juried and judged. While you're at taking a break, you come back at 5 o'clock, it's a reception, and the winners are announced.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good deal. And then if you want to, you can sell your painting there that afternoon. Rock Show NOLA, Paragon Casino Resort, September 13th, 8 o'clock, doors at 7. Save Sinlaws 5K run or walk in Marksville, September 20th. Go to SaveSinlaw.com for registration. And that continues to be the suicide awareness program that is it started in Avoyelles by the Dixon family and now has grown over to all over the state where they do these seminars. Church fair time, Our Lady of Lourdes Catholic Church Fair in 5th Ward, September 20th and 21st. St. Peter's and St. Michael's Church Fair in Bartlesville, September 20th and 21st. 2 different areas of the parish. St. Francis de Sales Church Fair in Echo, September 27th and 28th. And then also on the 27th, we have an alligator feeding show at Paragon Casino Resort and the community-wide garage sale over in Cottonport. They call it Sailing on the Bayou. So some of the vendors are set up along the bayou. Some are at the homes. Some are at the town square. So like them on Facebook, and you'll find out what the address is for the garage sale on that citywide garage sale. And simultaneously, the Cottonport Quilters Guild will have their annual quilt show at the Firehouse in Cottonport on September 27th. Starts at 9 and closes out at 5 p.m. that afternoon.
Man, got all the stuff happening in Avoyelles Parish.
Absolutely. It's a fun place to be.
Mm-hmm.
And have you tried the Avoyelles sweet potato yet?
I have not.
Gosh.
Where do I try it at?
There are 3 of the farmers that are selling it now. Dugas Farms, Roy Produce, and Mr. Gene Marcotte. They're all selling them right now. And the greatest thing about those is you really don't have to wait for a curing time. They cure within 2 weeks. And you can pop them in the oven, and they're absolutely delicious.
I don't want to sound ignorant right now, but is it season for sweet potatoes?
Yes, it is.
I need to come over and do a story on that.
They're harvesting now, yes.
All right, I'll get with you on that. That'll be fun.
Let me know, and we'll
throw it in some gumbo.
Oh, absolutely. That's what I had Friday, Saturday, and I think finished it up yesterday.
Have you ever had that, Nathan?
I don't think I've ever had sweet potato.
I have never either. I heard it's a thing over there, though.
Really?
Do they like bake it and then they put it in there? How does that work?
Oh yeah, you just wash them and bake them.
Leave the skin on.
Leave the skin on. And,
Lord.
The sugar turns into like a syrupy deal, and it sort of oozes out of that potato. And then when you slice that open,
so you just dump it on top. You don't boil it in the gumbo.
No, I use mine on the side as a side.
Oh, okay.
I don't put mine in the gumbo. Some people do put theirs in gumbo.
I got to try it.
I will say I like potato salad in my gumbo.
Yeah. Where are you from?
I'm not from Avoyelles Parish.
All right, that's exactly what I thought. That's exactly what I thought.
But it's potatoes.
I'm a rice guy.
Well, I mean, I'm obviously rice. That's a no-brainer. But just a little scoop on the side,
Yeah, I've had it. I prefer the sweet potato. There's one of the writers from Avoyelles Parish did an article for Country Roads magazine. I guess I can say that on this. Yeah. But and she had done an article, sweet potato versus potato salad in gumbo. That got so much traction for Avoyelles Parish, and
I think we should do a video.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna hit you up. Let's do it.
I'm sure Roy could take care of that over at Petit Cafe.
Yes. I don't mind going there.
Because he's making bread pudding, sweet potato bread pudding with the Avoyelles sweet potato too.
Wow, that does sound great.
All right.
The big question though is, what are you having for lunch today?
Probably tuna out of a can.
But I bet if it's in the parish, it's going to taste good.
Yep. Always does. Sometimes you live to eat, sometimes you eat to live.
I hear you.
That's how it's been for the last 2 or 3 days.
Well, thank you so much, Wilbert Carmouche. We appreciate you coming in today and sharing with us all the good things taking place in Avoyelles Parish from the Avoyelles Commission of Tourism, and they can find you on the website at travelavoyelles.com. All right. Thank you, everybody. We'll be right back after
Thanks,
this.
sir. Appreciate you.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics with 27 providers and 3 locations. Someone can see you today. Stick around. More of Talkback is on the way.
Hello, I'm Dr. Noah Miller. I'm the new guy at the clinics. I'm a family medicine physician from Vedrine, Louisiana, and I'm now accepting new patients. Call today for an appointment. The clinics offers a wide range of services, including primary care, family and chronic care, urgent and acute care, on-site lab and x-ray as well. Same-day appointments are available, and we accept most insurance and Medicare. Experience exceptional care at the clinics. 1587 North Bolton. Call 445-9823 or reach us online at theclinics.us. Looking forward to seeing you at the clinics.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
You too could have a beautiful smile in as little as 12 weeks. Exclusive to Today's Dental in Pineville, Virtual Align Clear Aligners. The fastest, most convenient, affordable way to straighten your teeth for people on the go. Plus, they're invisible. No one will know you're doing it. Experience the Virtual Align difference. Call Today's Dental at 448-4540. It's a general dental facility on Highway 28 East in Pineville, owned by Dr. Jonas Goche. 448-4540.
Attention all real estate agents, property owners, and lenders. When you or a client needs a real estate attorney, call the professionals at Thompson Law Firm. Whether the legal matter is basic or complex, the Thompson Law Firm can accurately guide you or your client to a successful outcome. That's why numerous industry professionals have trusted the Thompson Law Firm for years. They also handle estate planning, successions, and business law. Call them at 473-0052. I am a paid non-client attorney spokesperson.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose. Visit us at lubawc.com to learn more.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO. To take part in the show, call 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. Talk back.
Welcome back to Talk Back on this Tuesday morning. Terrific Tuesday with Stephen and Nathan. Trish has left the building, as did Elvis, and as did Wilbert Carmouche. So we appreciate his update on all the things happening in Evalls Parish. We were talking about me. We're back with Stephen. We were talking about the TCU North Carolina game, and former Ash standout Bud Clark had a great game. He picked off, I think, his 12th interception of his collegiate career when the game was still pretty close. I think it was like 10-7, and he picks off an interception, returns at 26 yards. So Ash, Trojan star, Bud Clark leading the way. He's actually one of the captains for the TCU Horned Frogs, and good for him.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't really watch any games this weekend. I don't, like you said, me and you aren't really. You watched the LSU Tigers.
I did watch that one, yeah. It was funny. My son is more into football now than I am, which is great because he knows. It's scary because he knows more than me. And I mean, the whole Belichick thing came up, and I hadn't even really paid much attention to it. He's like, "Man, what happened to that guy? You know, are they going to fire him?" I'm like, "Well, I don't think so. Not the first game. You know, give him time to build something." But yeah, he was up on all of that.
I didn't go to I know a lot of people are LSU fans that didn't go to the school, but I didn't go there, and I didn't grow up in a family that went to these big schools. So we never really watched it religiously at the house. NFL, on the other hand, I was pretty obsessed with it back in the day. But and I like college football. I love going to LSU games. I've always had fun. I've been to dozens of them, but just never was a diehard fan.
I've only been to 2 LSU games, and they were both great games. The atmosphere is electric. I've been to 2 Saints games, so I guess I'm 2 for 2 and 2 on each of those over the course of my life. I'm not a huge go in person. The game experience, as far as watching the game, is better on TV. But the experience being there, LSU, when the band comes down, when the football players come down, the band comes down the hill, it's electric. It's really, the whole tailgating experience is phenomenal. And the folks who go, I mean, there are people who basically live for that.
I know.
They buy the RVs and they have their parking spots. They don't even go inside the stadium. They'll just stay in the parking lot the whole time and party. So
fun community stuff, you know. It's a way to get together, and I think it's awesome. Wish I could go more. But I'm not going to sit down and watch it on the TV unless someone invites me to go have like food or something.
I thought of you yesterday morning, though. I saw something I've not seen before. Maybe a caller will tell me they've seen it around town. There is a white pickup truck in town with the Dallas Cowboys star and stripes down the side of it. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen that.
I couldn't get my phone out fast enough to take a picture.
Of course, sucker.
Yeah, that you would have loved that pickup truck. It looked like a, 10-year-old maybe GMC, I'm guessing. It was just, I only saw it real briefly. It was over there by PJ's Coffee on 28 West. I was at R&R Tires trying to get some tires replaced. I ended up having to go someplace else, but very interesting experience seeing that Dallas Cowboys truck in town.
That's awesome. You got to reach out to them.
If anybody knows who it is, have them talk to Stephen Maxwell.
We can be in suffering and pain together. It'll be fun.
What do you think this year's going to hold?
Mediocre.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Hour 2 coming up. More with Stephen and Nathan after this. Thank you for guys joining us, and call us on the BOM Talk Line at 318-442-8255. We'd love to have your calls in hour number 2. We'll see you then.
You've been listening to Talkback. The opinions expressed were those of the hosts and callers, and not necessarily those of Cenlaw Broadcasting. AM 970, FM 104.9, KSYL, and KRRV 100.3, HD3, Alexandria. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Stacey Lynn. Ryan Ruth will be in court later this morning. He's the man charged with trying to assassinate then-candidate Donald Trump on his golf course last year. Legal analyst Lori Levinson says he plans to represent himself.
There's various types of evidence regarding his activities in the past that Ruth will try to get in front of the jury, but the government has brought motions to exclude that evidence. And that's one of the things that Judge Cannon has to sort out before the trial actually begins.
Jury selection begins next week. Lawmakers are back to work on Capitol Hill, and CBS's Nicole Killian says the clock is ticking.
The countdown is on to fund the government. Lawmakers must pass a spending bill by the end of this month or face a potential shutdown. There is not much trust on either side of the aisle right now after the White House tried last week to claw back billions of dollars in congressionally appropriated foreign aid.
President Trump's doubling down on his plan to send National Guard troops to Chicago, posting on Truth Social, "I will solve the crime problem fast, just like I did in D.C. Chicago will be safe again, and soon." This weekend, more than 50 people were shot in the city, though the murder rate's fallen by 50% over the past 4 years. Over 1,000 were killed in a landslide in the mountains of Western Sudan. Mathilde Vu with the Norwegian Refugee Council says it's a very hard to reach area.
It takes at least 5 hours trekking or on donkey in order to reach the place. And so far we haven't been able to send people there. You can't even get closer with a car.
A young survivor of the Minneapolis church shooting will undergo surgery tomorrow.
10-year-old Weston Halsney captured the country's hearts when he described how his friend saved him as the bullets tore through Annunciation Catholic Church.
And I just ran under the pew and I covered my head. My friend Victor saved me though, because he laid on top of me. but he got hit.
Weston thought he felt gunpowder on his neck. It was actually a bullet fragment that is lodged dangerously close to his carotid artery. Surgeons will remove it tomorrow. His friend Victor has been released from the hospital and is recovering at home. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
One of the biggest food companies on the planet is splitting into two. Business analyst Jill Schlesinger says on the move by Kraft Heinz.
The split is meant to boost sales so that the company can focus on each of the distinct brands within the umbrella of each of these two distinct companies.
One brand will focus on Heinz ketchup and more, the other Oscar Mayer. This is CBS News.
Progressive Insurance, with insurance for cars, home, boat, motorcycles, RVs, and commercial vehicles at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
I'm Matt Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Your car steering wheel could be a ticking time bomb. At least 24 people have died and many more injured because their airbags fired shrapnel at them upon inflating. Tens of millions of cars have been recalled. If you suffered cuts that required stitches, hearing or vision loss, or broken bones, please contact us today.
Call 1-800-602-9900.
Morgan & Morgan. Visit us at badairbags.com for an office near you. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Louisiana Radio Network, I'm Colleen Crane. Registration for another round of grants for the Louisiana Fortify Homes program begins this morning.
Insurance Commissioner Tim Temple says what's different about the Fortified Roof Grant Lottery registration this time around is that if you had registered for a previous lottery, there's no need to re-register. You're automatically entered in this one.
I asked my IT folks here, figure it out. If someone's already become an applicant and put everything in, let's don't make them have to go back and do it again.
There are 500 grants available, and they're open to those who live in the coastal zone as well as Lake Charles, Sulphur, and Westlake. The lottery registration closes at 5 p.m. Friday, September 12th. I'm Andrew Greenstein.
5 years after one of the strongest hurricanes ever to hit the Gulf Coast made landfall, Southwest Louisiana is still being rebuilt. Calcasieu Parish President Judd Barris says there are some residents still battling with their insurance company over hurricane repairs.
Obviously, these are more extreme cases, but it's the fact that they're having to do it still.
LRN.
Louisiana forests once fueled our economy. Your granddad logged these woods. So did your dad. And now, Beaver Lake Renewable Energy is keeping that legacy alive, turning thinnings and wood byproducts into clean fuel right here in Pineville. It means more jobs, stronger forests, and a future that honors where Central Louisiana came from. Be part of Louisiana's next chapter. Visit BeaverLakeRenewable.com and find out how we're putting Central Louisiana back on the map.
Well, good morning. Our forecast looking good for the next couple of days. Sunny skies today. We'll see the afternoon high temps getting up to 89. And we could see a stray shower, thunderstorm, but only about a 20% chance of that. Not bad at all. Partly cloudy tonight, down to 69. And then for Wednesday, looks like more of the same, really. Sunny skies, 89 to 90 for the afternoon high. And again, that slight chance of an afternoon shower. From the Cenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Gratian.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 27 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
It's Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show. Whether it's the guests or the callers, Talkback is where Central Louisiana begins its conversation.
The talk about town, the place where conversation starts. Don't be left out. Thanks for joining us this morning with none other than the wonderful Matt Ritchie in the studio today with his bi-monthly economic update. Matt, so excited to have you in and talk about things that are going on right here in Central Louisiana, as well as around the nation, with a little campaign you've kicked off for that's going to really benefit Central Louisiana as well. But glad to have you in the studio today.
Well, thank you, Nathan. I appreciate it. Good to be with you both, you and Stephen.
Good.
Heard you on the way in. You had a good show early on. Will McCarbush, he does such a good job at Ovallis Parish.
He is such a good ambassador, isn't he?
He really is. I mean, what a talent that they have in him, and to go out and promote their parish. And talking about what's going on in the area, we got a lot of good stuff to talk about. I've got several good sales that'll tie into some other things going on economically here around in the market. And then if we have a little time towards the end of the show, I want to get into some what I see, when I'm watching news and watching different things going on in the area. And I want to talk about retail, like how retail works. And, because, sometimes people talk about businesses closing down and that kind of thing, but there's a lot of other factors other than, things that are being talked about. So anyway, let's go ahead and jump in. Largest transaction of the last 2 weeks. I'm going to report on August 15th through August the 30th, August 31st rather, and that's the time period that I'm going to be reporting on sales-wise. But the largest transaction we had in that time period was about a 40,000 square foot warehouse just south of Alexandria, right at the Woodworth exit. If you've driven south on 49 and in the last 4 or 5 months or so, you've seen a big old for sale sign. Barbara Bundant had a for sale sign on that big warehouse that just kind of sits off right by itself, right before you get off the Woodworth exit. It's on Cooley Crossing. It was owned by the McGraw Farms LLC, and they sell to PRR Capital Partners LLC. That's about a 40,000 square foot warehouse. And warehouse properties are popular right now because there's a lot of industry that between it, and a lot of it's centered around Procter & Gamble. I've experienced that because, when I first bought the old rebar plant on Morgan Street about 10 years ago, that was my first big warehouse I ever bought in the market, and I redid it for ABC Supply. And I did a complete build to suit for them. And then I got into that, and I realized that I started getting other calls for other warehouse users. And then so when that was one of the reasons why when the Cowboy Town property came up, it was a big empty building, and I knew that there was potential need because I was getting the calls for this other. I redid that. We turned that into a Lowe's distribution warehouse. And then the Baker Manufacturing property came up, and I saw there was more need for warehouse, so we redid that property. And then most recently, we took the property over on Broadway. It's about 143,000 square feet, former Alexandria Seed originally. Then Ken Moran had it as a recycling business there. And I just recently renovated that property, all new metal, all new roofs, put in new, modern loading docks, all new LED lighting inside. It really turned out really nice. And now we have that fully leased already to supplier to Procter & Gamble. So a lot of industry here, obviously geared up to either supply or do business with Procter & Gamble and other. And so this 40,000 square foot warehouse will probably end up being, if I had to guess, will end up being the lease to someone who has some kind of connection to Procter & Gamble, just because they're consistently doing expansions out there. They just did a big expansion, and so Plastipack as well. Plastipack is another big operator that supplies not only Procter & Gamble. They have customers all over the place, and so I think that's a good purchase for PRR Capital. Is actually Patrick Redmond, local physician in town, and I know he likes real estate as an investment tool. So congratulations to Patrick on the purchase of that, and the McGraw Farms, that family selling that a $1,250,000 sale, which probably not a bad sale. I mean, you couldn't replace that building for that. You couldn't go buy the land and build that building for that amount of money. So. But it was empty, and I'm sure that was the motivation of the McGraws family to sell, and then an investor, obviously seeing some opportunity. So that was the largest transaction of the sale of the last 2 weeks. You have a question?
Yeah, I do. Well, really more a comment. You in your story of kind of talking about warehousing space. You mentioned the Baker manufacturing.
Yeah.
I just want to, as a Pineville resident, thank you for the cleanup you did on that facility. I mean, it was a long-standing manufacturing facility for many years. But like things happen, sometimes people, the ownership had not really done a lot of maintenance on it, especially outside maintenance.
Right.
And when you came in and redid the facade, it totally changed the look from the expressway. And I don't know what your capacity is or what your rental, if you've booked out or not, but that really dressed up that part of town. So I guess really more than anything else, thank you.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. That means a lot. One of the things that I've discovered that during my career of 28 years ago, I bought my first rent property on 721 Sanders Street. I'll always remember that address. It was a little frame home, and I bought it, fixed it up, rented it out, and from that point on, I knew I liked to do that. I've never built a whole. I've only built 2 spec houses in my whole career. I did it, and I realized I didn't get that excited about it. But what I did get excited about was taking a property that was out of commerce, just sitting there, not habitable or not not functioning, and going and improving it and making it look better. That's why I made my whole career here in Central Louisiana doing that, just taking properties out of commerce and putting them back in commerce. And when you say that really juices me up because I want to go do more.
And I don't mean any shade at all in the Baker manufacturing. It's just, process of time, things kind of get older. And it's kind of like, in your house, you may have a picture frame that's a little crooked and you don't pay attention to it, but a guest comes in and straightens it up for you. You're like, oh, I guess I should have done that. And this is one of those things where you did that facade work, and man, it just looks so nice. So and I'm sure it made it more marketable as well.
Yeah, no, because look, we as we were doing that, and so many other things, when they're sitting there, they can sit there forever and not have much activity. But the first time you start improving it, it gets folks' attention. Yeah. And by the way, it's one of the sales I'm going to talk about on the commercial land sales. When I bought the Baker property, I did not buy the 2.8 acres next door to it to the left. And I just recently, I'd been negotiating with Rusty and the Baker family for the last 5 years since I bought the building on that lot, and we finally came to terms, and we actually closed it last week. And so now I bought the 2.8 acres, which is a vacant field, and I think we talked about it. It was old RV Edwards baseball field. There was 2 baseball fields there back in the 70s and early 80s, and then what happened was I got the story from Rusty at the closing. And it makes sense because I obviously when I was, in 1980, I was 6 years old, playing Pee Wee ball there. But in '83 is when they actually purchased it, and they swapped it from the city out to where the ballpark is out in Wardville right now. They had a larger property out there, so the Bakers wanted that 2.8 acres, so they took that field and they swapped it for the property. I think I was going to go back and look, and I hadn't looked, but I would imagine the ball fields out in Wardville are probably somewhere on a 15 to 20 acre tract.
Big piece over there on Hunter Street, yeah.
And so that's how that transaction all happened in 1983. So
very nice.
Little history there. But yeah, so you might ask what I'm going to do there. Well, I own the property to the left of the field too, where Cintas is. It's about a 12,000 square foot, office warehouse. Cintas is there, and they've been there for a while. And we're thinking about speccing out a large warehouse building there that would match the facade of the Baker building, and then we would all tile that together, and all would look with similar architecture or similar design. And so I think that'll be a good thing. And so it's one of those things. I can go put a big old billboard up there, and I can put a picture of it, but until I actually build something, we probably won't get much attention.
Now that piece, can you get to that piece from the exit? You can't get to the Baker without doing a couple of U-turns, but can you get to that piece from the exit?
You cannot. Okay. No. But it is visible. It's highly, highly visible.
Absolutely.
And so a lot of trucks, just like they've done for years, they get off. Well, a lot of it, what typically they do, they get off right when they come over the river.
Right.
And then they come underneath the underpass, and they come along by the LC baseball field, and come along that way. That's typically how they get there. The big trucks do anyway.
So the reason I'm asking is I'm thinking, does that classify for retail or a restaurant? But if it doesn't have access from the exit, it's a little harder to get to. It'll probably stay more industrial.
Most likely going to be industrial, industrial commercial warehousing type property. I just don't see a convenience store, one of the big stores or fast foods, anything going there. But anyway, that's what's going on there. I was going to talk about that a little later, but you brought the baker up, so I was bringing that up. But so many different, and I've seen it throughout my career, and that's just not just me. You go into a property, whether it be a home or whether it be a business, and someone, to your point, Nathan, someone that's been operating in it, living in it, whatever, how they've been for years and years and years. And then it's just it is what it is. And then someone else takes it and they do something completely different. And they say, well, it's unique how we all look at something through our own eyes. Because what you see, Stephen, and what I see, we may be looking at the same wall, but we're seeing three different things. Mm-hmm. And so, that's what makes the world go round, right? Is everybody's got their own perspective and that kind of thing. So going on, we'll talk about some more commercial sales that have happened. The Pineville Cigar Club, LLC, sells to Bishop Enterprises, 500 Main Street. And for those that point of reference where 500 Main Street is, it's right at the exit where the old Huey P. Hospital used to be. That big boulevard style right across it. And for a long, long time, it was Reliable Finance. I'm talking about as long as I can remember.
It's still listed as Reliable Finance on the assessor's website.
It was Reliable Finance. And so, but Tyron Robinson, actually, matter of fact, I sold it to Tyron from the Reliable Finance people a couple of years ago. And he did an owner finance, probably why it's still showing up. Okay. It was an owner finance, so deed didn't transfer. It was just a lease with the option of purchase. And Tyron bought that, and he actually, it was him and his son opened up a cigar shop. It was it was right after the Pineville, the ordinance was passed where you could sell alcohol in Pineville. And so they had a cigar shop. They had a little, a club there. And I think I think it was successful as far as for what they wanted to do. But I just don't know that they used it as much as, and it made enough money. So they had an opportunity to sell it, and Bishop Enterprises LLC, which is, they have a Colfax address. I know Bishop Enterprises, they're a local builder and property investor, and I'm told that they're going to be using that as they're essentially their property management office for all their rental properties and their construction business.
That makes sense because it's got some parking right there attached to it, and so not a lot, but if you're a small business, you need a space to operate out of. You don't want to be in your home. It makes this great location.
Yeah, good location, especially they're doing the new store right on the opposite corner there, which we had sold that for the Kipper family that about a couple of years ago. A group bought it, and now they're doing a really, really nice job on the remodel. You would have thought you'd think it was a new building based off of once again, if you saw the building before, and then you saw it today, and all they did was add some brick to it. They did some facade work, and it looks like you can tell they're putting some gas pumps in now, and so for what they paid for it, they only paid about $45,000 for it, so they can afford to actually go in and spend some real money on it.
Well, I stopped in there and walked around on the inside and looked, and they're almost through on the inside as well. And it will be similar. It's bigger on the inside than it looks from the outside, surprisingly. And it's going to be similar to what like Jack's Grocery is. They're going to have burgers and fries and hot food on one end, and then a little convenience store on the other side, just kind of like Jack's. And I think they're going to do some killer business down there. And that's the closest gas. You have to go all the way to Bolton Avenue and Jackson, or somewhere way out Pineville side. I guess why not stop at the end of Rainbow Drive or Super One on Military? So downtown folks will be using that, and they've got the big equipment in there. I guess Petron's going to be putting those tanks in or relining the tanks.
Yeah. Now if you think about it, if you're downtown, if you're at the Holiday Inn, or if you're at the Bentley, or anywhere downtown, immediately downtown, that's going to be your closest place to go get fuel up, that's going to get get your convenience type items. So they paid. So Powell Cigar Club sells to Bishop Enterprises, 500 Main Street, about $160,000. Once again, you couldn't buy the land and replace that building for that. So congratulations to both of those buyers and sellers in that transaction. How much time do we have? Because I got another sale that I want to get into that was actually going to tie into some other economic development things going on here locally. So we'll talk about that when we come back.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics with 27 providers and 3 locations. Someone can see you today. Stick around. More of Talkback is on the way.
Storms, tornadoes, power outages. It's the season, so get prepared. Get storm ready with Southern Air. Get a free estimate on a generator, the right generator for your home and family, plus 0% financing for 60 months with approved credit. Let Southern Air help you take the worry out of hurricane season. Take action now. Visit southernairnow.com and let us bear it. Or give us a call at 318-777-5555. Keep the lights on with Southern Air.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose. Visit us at lubawc.com to learn more.
Nothing to do?
Cenlaw's got you covered.
Fall Fest is full of family-friendly fun. It's coming to Coattail Lake in Boyce on Saturday, September the 6th. Enjoy live music, a kids zone, food vendors, arts and craft vendors. Load up the kids for a fun day at the lake.
Love local arts? Then make plans for Saturday, September 13th as the Cenlaw Artists Market comes to Fighting Hand Brewing Company. Enjoy local art and meet the artists while sipping a craft beer. Details on Facebook.
Come celebrate National Hunting and Fishing Day on Saturday, September the 27th at the LDWF Education Facility in Woodworth. It's a free event offering fishing, shooting activities, door prizes, and more. Learn more online.
Make plans now for the Red Wagon 5K and 1 Mile Wagon Pool on Saturday, October 4th at the Louisiana Athletic Club in Pineville. It's a fun-filled day of exercise and activities for the whole family. Check it out online.
Go have some fun.
Cenlaw Broadcasting.
If you'd like to take part in the show today, call the BOM Bank Talk line at 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. And remember, if you're looking to purchase or refinance your home, call Christina Bagwell at the BOM Bank Mortgage Department at 448-2430.
It's Talkback, 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
Welcome back to Talkback, where we're talking about breaking deals, upcoming events, and things that are happening for economic development in Central Louisiana with none other than Matt Ritchie, who's in the know. And if you want to be in the know, call the BOM Talk line, 318-442-8255. You can also let us know what you know that's happening in Central Louisiana. We'd appreciate it.
So I can talk about this because I don't have any involvement whatsoever in this deal. And so I'm just going to report on it. So the Bossier Investment LLC sells to Bayou Gas Odorants Company a 17-acre tract off of Gene Ball Drive, 5796 Gene Ball Drive for $315,000. And you just may look at that and you go, well, okay, well that's a looks like that's just an average sale. But if you know obviously the Bossier family, where they used to operate Diamond B at the end of Gene Ball Drive, they had a landing strip out there. They had their office buildings, had some warehouses, and they basically sold all that off separately, which was smart because that's what they, there wasn't one user that needed all that, so they ended up selling one of the warehouses to a company that does, I think, striping and highway parts and that kind of thing, and then it looks like they just sold another piece of it to Bayou Gas Odorants. What's important about that is that Bayou Gas Odorants was the company that was operating out at the Beaver Creek, out at the International Paper Plant, and so I knew that they were paper mill, and I know that
that they had been looking, because I showed them they were working with an agent, and they had their own agent. They'd called me and asked me for they needed to be somewhere that's kind of remote, not around houses, not around anywhere where people may pick up the smell, because even though nothing's leaking, it may cause a stir of this. So they don't want to be anywhere around housing or any kind of densely populated area. They wanted to be kind of out and about, but still close enough to town where trucks can come in and out, easy access to infrastructure, to the highway, and that kind of thing. So that was important. This is a really smart move, I believe, for them to buy this, because that it is. It's kind of off, but there's no housing, and it's everything that they needed. So and I think they actually got it for a pretty good price, $315,000. Now, what's important is that if they're making the move off of the IP plant property, that means something else must be happening, because they normally wouldn't be moving if things weren't moving forward. Now, obviously, we've all heard and seen, and we've been listening to both sides of the of this project, which I think some of the project obviously is related to, and I'm told that part of the success or viability of the project is to participate in carbon capture and carbon sequestration, but I don't want to get. I do not want to get into that, because everybody's on. I still don't know that everybody really understands and fully understands what it is, the impacts, the risk. I certainly don't. I've got my own opinion. I'll leave it at that. But them making a move and buying the property to move that Bayou Gas Odorants company out there, I think says a lot about the potential, viability of what that project's going to happen. So
yeah, and a lot of people have questions. I think what I've heard locally, I don't want to dive into this at all, but the plant itself, people like the idea of the plant itself. The sequestration is going to be done someplace else. People are having concerns with, but will be interesting to follow. And like you say, this economic development, this is a hint that something is happening. Is that odor company, was that Mr. Tucker's property?
Yeah, that was. Yeah.
And he was the original owner of the Beaver, not the original. He bought it from IP, if I recall. I think they used to be out at Essler Field for a while, if I recall.
He was, and I forget the name of it, and that's a whole nother story. Yeah. But a really true, Central Louisiana success story.
Absolutely.
To be honest with you, how he did that, and then he turned around and sold it for, a lot. When you say a lot of money, that's relative, right? Because a lot of money to someone is not a lot to others, and so.
Well, to two of the people in this room, it was a lot of money.
And I don't know the number. You hear different things, and you might hear, you might hear 5 million, you might hear 50 million. You get numbers tossed around. I wasn't involved in that sale and don't know anything about it, but I do know it was a successful venture for Mr. Tucker and his family, and so I'm happy to see, especially when folks in Central Louisiana succeed. And so we're going to take a break. We got more deals to talk about when we come back.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Looks like a rough start for Wall Street to kick off the month of September. Job numbers, inflation data, and the Fed's rate cut decision are all happening within the next 3 weeks. For now, the stock futures are falling, pointing to a lower open for Wall Street on this Tuesday morning. Kraft Heinz is separating its iconic ketchup from its famous singles cheese slices. The company said today it would split into two separate publicly listed companies. One will include its sauces and boxed meals like Heinz ketchup and Kraft mac and cheese. The second will sell grocery products like Oscar Mayer hot dogs, Lunchables, and Kraft singles slices. Kraft Heinz has not decided what the two companies will be called, but the announcement today marks the beginning of the unwinding of a $46 billion merger that happened a decade ago. The company behind Zales and Jared continues to shine. Signet raised its full-year sales guidance as consumers continued to spend on jewelry. The company's sales outlook is a key indicator for the upcoming engagement season. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
The Acadian Ambulance membership enrollment is now open. Members enjoy many benefits, including a 30% discount on ambulance transports, a nationwide discount program on thousands of products and services you use every day, and savings on medical alerts and security systems from Acadian Total Security. Protect your family for just $84 a year. This is your only chance this year to join Acadian Ambulance and to start enjoying these terrific savings. Learn more about all of the benefits and the low cost of membership by calling 800-256-JOIN or visit myacadian.com. That's 800-256-JOIN or myacadian.com. Hurry, the deadline is Friday, September 5th. Acadian Ambulance, the best in EMS.
Well, good morning. Our forecast looking good for the next couple of days. Sunny skies today. We'll see the afternoon. High temps getting up to 89. And we could see a stray shower or thunderstorm, but only about a 20% chance of that. Not bad at all. Partly cloudy tonight, down to 69. And then for Wednesday, looks like more of the same, really. Sunny skies, 89 to 90 for the afternoon high. And again, that slight chance of an afternoon shower. From the Cenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Gratian.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO. Now back to Talkback.
Welcome back to Talkback as we are ready to go with the second half of this hour with Matt Ritchie, the economic update. 318-442-8255, the number for you to call the BOM talk line to let us know what's on your mind, or stump the man who with a plan, Matt Ritchie, if you can. I got a little rhyming in there, didn't I?
That was good.
Okay, thank you. That's it for the day.
Well, we're going to get some more commercial sales. Randy Tarver continues to expand his Tarver Building Materials footprint out off Masonic Drive. Looks like Randy bought an adjacent property next to his facility that's been there for a long time. Mary Woolley sells to Tarver Capital Partners. Lot 26 of Walled-In Court, 6608 Masonic Drive for $135,000. So congratulations to Randy, because I know he's been busting at the seams out there. I know he built a new warehouse maybe a year or two ago, and so I know he continues to grow. And I believe that's second generation, potentially third. I'm not sure of that family. So great local family business expanding. So good to see that. Another sale I want to talk about is the First Guaranty Bank. It's actually a sale that I handled. I had it listed. First Guaranty Bank over on 40 Pinecrest Drive.
Formerly known as Union Bank.
Formerly known as Union Bank, that's correct. For those who don't know, First Guaranty bought Union Bank out. I guess it's been 3 years, maybe 4 years now. Bought the bank, and so rebranded all their local branches to First Guaranty. And now really the last branch that they're going to have here in Central Louisiana is going to be on Metro Drive. They still have a customer base here, but they decided to sell that branch over on Pinecrest. They also sold the corner of the piece of land that they had bought, or Union had bought years ago, on the corner of Cloverdale and Highway 28 West, right next to Whataburger. That hard corner right there, where there was a kiosk, like a ATM kiosk there. So we listed both those properties for First Guaranty Bank and sold that one right away. Dr. Sharma bought that corner right across from Walmart. And so we'll wait to see what happens there. And then the next, so 40 Pinecrest Drive is the one that I'm reporting on. We actually had it on contract. The First Guarantee, and a lot of banks do this when they list these banks, because banks are such specialty use buildings. They have vaults. They have, drive-throughs. Yeah. They have
armored glass.
Yeah. And my office is a former bank, so I'm familiar with it. Matter of fact, 700 Main Street in Pine was a former bank, so I'm used to the flayouts and what the challenges and advantages of them are. But a lot of times they will put a restriction that they won't sell to another bank, because they don't want to create more competition for themselves. And so this was the case. But what happened was, we actually had a local credit union, I won't name the name, but a local credit union who was very interested in the building. And we had to go through the hierarchies and the upper management of First Guarantee to say, hey, look, it's a credit union, it's not a bank. We weren't excluding credit unions. Yeah, but it's still the same. So anyway, long story short, we got it approved. And so we got it approved for the local credit union. It would have been a fantastic opportunity, because it would probably, we listed it at $595,000. I can tell you, just the land cost alone is probably close to that, right? And so, and then to build that building would cost, probably $1.5 million, close to $2 million. So, but appraisals generally, and I've seen it a lot in my career, where bank buildings, like I said, because they're specialty use, and because a lot of times they do have restrictions on them, that they will not, the value, the appraisals generally don't come in super high. And so, so we had this thing locked down. There was some appraisal. There was a cash deal. I thought we were, everything's moving forward. There was an inspection done. Well, let me tell you what's very interesting. And it's almost a public service announcement too, Nathan. We go check out and do a termite inspection. And the bank says, well, we need to get a termite inspection. In the time that we did the building inspection, and 2 weeks later in termite inspection, Formosan termites.
Oh no.
Had attacked the building.
Oh my God.
In a couple of areas. And so, the credit union goes, oh, whoa, hold on a second. We need to see what. So we go get a contractor, get the contractor to go in and actually open up all the walls where any of the evidence of the damage was. And so then that creates this whole question mark by the credit union. Do we really want to take on this? Do we really have the experience to do this? Do we really want to do it? My suggestion was, just because of my experience with, and I'm not saying I'm a construction expert whatsoever, but I've been around a lot of buildings and reconstruction and renovation of a lot of buildings over the last 28 years, and I didn't feel like it was something that was too great to not overcome, especially seeing the value that you have and what you're paying for versus what it would cost to build it or to repair it, right? So. But in 2 weeks, so the local pest control company who found the Formosan termites says that Kings Country area, that particular, there's a queen, that's a hot spot.
Colony, yeah.
There's a colony in that area where they're seeing, over the last 2 years or so, they've seen, because we haven't really seen Formosan termites, real popular in the South. They do like, they'll eat up, and I forget the other word for I say regular termites, but for lack of better words and my lack of knowledge on that, the termite, Formosans eat up like 100 times faster. Oh, wow. They'll eat the wood and then do more damage, like 100 times faster than the other type of termites. And so, any of our pest control friends listen to the show, please call in and maybe explain the difference.
You just scared everybody that has property around Kings Country, by the way.
Well, you know why I
great public service.
I said that because you may want to have your building checked.
Well, I will tell you, our church, where my church is on Pierce Road.
Yeah.
It's right there. And we actually had a little flare up here about a month ago, brought our people in, and they told me the exact same thing. Thankfully, ours were not, but they said they're in this area. So Absolutely spot on.
Yeah. So if you live anywhere, and you know, so especially, and a lot of people don't get out and walk around their homes. They don't get out. I mean, they live in the rooms that they live in, and they don't get out and walk around the house. Sometimes, you know, you just don't do it. I mean, you just go in and out, and you don't pay attention. But I would advise anybody that has owns a building or owns real estate around there to get out and check the outside. And if you see anything questionable, call a local pest control company to have them come check it out, because it was a real deal. It killed that deal.
Wow.
It killed that deal. The credit union decided, you know what, we don't want to move forward, and our board's a little nervous about it. And so, but another investor, actually, and I'll plug Rod. Rod Knowles had an investor who had been kind of watching, knew the property was under contract, and had been kind of following up, and that client kept calling saying, hey, what's going on with the contract? And it just so happened that we went out of due diligence, and the buyers, my buyers, the credit union decided not to go forward, and this guy who recognized that it was a steal of a deal, it's a great location, he could get in there for $40,000-$50,000 and fix whatever damage needed to be fixed, and he still would have a good deal. And that was Four Wheels. It doesn't say LLC or corporation, but Four Wheels. It's Joe Williams. Joe Williams, who has the pillbox. Yeah, you used to have the pillbox. He sold it, and I'm not sure what he calls the dispensary that the company that they operate out of, but he bought it, and so it should be a fantastic location for him, and so congratulations for him. His tenacity and his staying on top of the deal got him that deal. He got it for $585,000, and so we'll talk about a couple more deals when we come back.
KSYL.
Timber and oil and gas built Central Louisiana. Advances in carbon capture and storage have come along to make Cenla a business leader once again. Now, groups outside Louisiana spreading lies and misinformation have convinced some friends and neighbors to oppose this game-changing industry. The truth? Carbon capture is safe and will provide hundreds of jobs and millions of dollars for schools and roads. Log on for facts at AmericanEnergySecurityProject.org.
Attention all real estate agents, property owners, and lenders. When you or a client needs a real estate attorney, call the professionals at Thompson Law Firm. Whether the legal matter is basic or complex, the Thompson Law Firm can accurately guide you or your client to a successful outcome. That's why numerous industry professionals have trusted the Thompson Law Firm for years. They also handle estate planning, successions, and business law. Call them at 473-0052. I am a paid non-client attorney spokesperson.
Talk back. To take part in the show, call 442-8255. That's 442-TALK.
Welcome back to Talk Back, the economic update with Matt Ritchie. We got a phone call. Good morning. You're on Talk Back with Matt Ritchie. Caller, go ahead. I'm sorry, we got you.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I was just giving some clarification. I think, Matt, there's native subterranean Reticularis termites. That's what we normally have. Formosans, they were brought in. They are down south. They're an invasive species. The worker doesn't eat the wood any quicker than the native subs. The problem with Formosan is you might have 1 million termites in the Formosan colony, where native subterraneans, you might have up to like 300,000. So there's a huge difference in numbers of what they're actually eating. But the actual worker, I don't think, eats the wood any quicker. It's just you're having, way bigger colony sizes.
There's just more of them. Okay, well, no, look, I appreciate that clarification. I really do.
Yep, that's it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, man. as Al says often, we've got the smartest listening audience around, and have the experts call and clarify.
No, I'm obviously trying not to put out any misinformation or anything that I don't know about. So thank you, caller, for calling in and talking about that, because I'm certainly I'm no termite expert.
I believed you. So
I just know that they obviously can do damage. I saw it, and this is actually the first time in 28 years where I walked into a building. First time I walked into it in June, no problems. Walked into it, 2 weeks later, and it's got, and you can visibly see the damage. And so it was very interesting thing to see that. So if you live in that area, you may want to just make sure that your home is protected. And most of the pest control companies, just in all fairness, the fee to come out and look is not really, it's not a high dollar expense for someone to have their home inspected for termites.
It's worth it.
Yeah, it's worth it. I mean, I know, and I'm still probably thinking, I think, anywhere between, $60 to $80 to maybe $100 is what the varying depending on what company you call and ask for. Well, we'll talk about. I want to make a clarification. Okay. Last show, I think you and I talked about this after the show, Nathan. We talked about Stillwater Development doing some selling some lots to D.R. Horton. Okay. At Cedar Bluff Estates, Phase 3, and I was incorrect. I was saying that was in Colleen. It's actually in Woodworth.
Okay.
And so I wanted to just make that in case we had some listeners that was listening to the show at the time that did want to make that comment. We have some interesting big investment sales, and I'll tell you, it's interesting because S&G Investments at Branson, which is Greg Wright. Greg owns Quail Creek Apartments over in Pineville. He owns several. He owns the Colony over off Masonic Drive. Owns, it's been just a real under the radar. I think he actually had an LLC named that one time.
He was a partner with someone else, and their name was under the radar.
Below the radar.
Below the radar. Yeah, that's right.
But he truly is. It's the under the radar type investor. It makes does a lot of. It's interesting to watch some of the moves he makes, but and I know they've got some real estate investments in Branson, so it looks like they must have sold something, one of those, because he reinvested, and that's good to see that he took that money that they sold in Branson, and actually he's now reinvesting it in Central Louisiana, because he bought a bunch of single family homes. And I talked to one of the agents I know that represents him a few months ago, and they were looking for just single family home investment packages. A lot of times when people call us and they're looking for single family home packages, you tend to think, okay, well, typical rent houses, which would be, and I'm not stereotyping anything, but let's just say a frame house, 3-bedroom, 1 bath, or a little brick home, 3-bedroom, 1 bath, or 3-2, somewhere in the, let's say, 80, 90, maybe $100,000 range. That's typically what we see when we see large packages trading hands, or maybe actually in some cases even less than that, maybe $40,000, $50,000 houses that are really, really old. They've always been rent houses, and people are get tired of it, and I've seen that happen dozens and dozens of time, where you might have somebody buy 4 or 5 rent houses, maybe 8, 9, 10, and they sell them in a package. Real common. But this particular sale is what I find interesting is that these homes are a little bit nicer than what your normal investment packages are. He buys one on Gingerbread, which is over here in Castle Village, over off of between Hyman Lane and MacArthur Drive, for about $163,500. And they all sold here in this last couple of weeks. So closed on that, and then bought another one in Good Earth for $205,000 on Harris Street. And then buys one on Canterbury Drive, which is in that neighborhood, kind of over off of Parliament Drive and Hyman, kind of tucked in there, for about $225,000. And then he buys a big chunk from D&J Investments, and I believe that's James Greer of Pineville, and Jimmy, maybe James and Jimmy, but one of the two. They sell a bulk of their rental properties to to S&J Investments at Branson. One included was on Huntington Ridge and right off of Susek Drive, which must have been, in my suspicion, based off what I'm seeing, 3 or 4 other houses included in that, because that was a $1,088,000 sale. So if you think about it, that was almost $2 million, a little under $2 million worth of sales of single family homes from investors selling to another investor. And it was just an interesting move. Just thought it was you don't really see that much. You don't see those type of transactions here locally, especially someone buying $200,000 something thousand properties to rent out, especially that age of properties. I see people building and buying newer homes and leasing them out, but not that age of a home. So we've got I've got another. We'll take a break. We got a break. I'm going to tell you about an interesting contract that I saw that was recorded, and it'll be interesting for Ward 9 in Pineville.
Quick breaking news real quick. A federal judge has ruled that Trump cannot use the National Guard in California and that it violates the Posse Comitatus Act. So that's something we've been monitoring. It just deals with California, but it's something that could affect different areas across the country.
Breaking news and more breaking news with Matt Ritchie right after this.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics with 27 providers and 3 locations. Someone can see you today. Stick around. More of Talkback is on the way.
The Clinics welcome Dr. Noah Miller, family medicine physician, to our team. Dr. Miller from Vadrine, Louisiana, is now accepting new patients. Call today to schedule your appointment. The Clinics offers a wide range of services, including primary care, family and chronic care, urgent and acute care with on-site lab and x-ray. Same-day appointments are available, and we accept most insurance and Medicare. Experience exceptional care at the Clinics, 1587 North Bolton. Call 445-9823 or look us up online at theclinics.us.
Is your website accessible to everyone? If it's not WCAG compliant, you could be excluding customers and opening yourself up to lawsuits. At Kinetics, we build and optimize websites that meet WCAG accessibility standards, helping you serve more people, convert more customers, and stay compliant with ADA guidelines. Don't risk it. Get your free website accessibility assessment today at kinetics.solutions. That's kinetics.solutions. Kinetics, where smart marketing works.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO. Now back to Talkback.
Welcome back to Talkback. It's the final segment. Final countdown.
Contract of interest, I always follow those when the contracts are recorded and public record. I like to follow those. And sometimes you see an interesting one. And this one was, because I've, the biggest craze of sports, in America has been, over the last few years, has been pickleball. And so you've got a lot of, and our pickleball community is growing, more and more. And I'll tell you, Ward 10 has done a really good job. Richard Bardwell and that group out there has done a really good job, and they converted basically their tennis courts that they had.
Did they do all of them or just a few of them?
My understanding is that they've done all of them. Okay. I'm hoping they still left the lines. I haven't actually gone to see them, but I'm hoping and I'm hoping that they left the lines. But so they've done a really good job. And that's where a lot of folks, Alexandria folks will drive out to Ward 10, which is, most folks, who live in Alexandria would never drive to Ward 10 for anything else, but they're driving out there for pickleball. Well, now Ward 9, which is off of Donahue Ferry, is just contracted with Sam's Cajun Courts out of Eunice for pickleball courts at Ward 9. So that's exciting for those who don't know about that. It's a $247,000 contract. So based off of what I know, what tennis courts cost, that tells me you can fit 3 pickleball courts on 1 tennis court. And so that tells me that's probably 6 pickleball courts. I don't know if it has a fence around it or not, or lighting, because that seems a little light for what I've seen the cost of those being. So I'm not sure how many courts. That could just be 4 courts. I don't know. So Ward 9 in Pineville is gonna be have more pickleball courts. For those who don't know, Ward 9 is where the if you go on off Edgewood Drive down Donahue Ferry, and you're going towards I guess for most people always known as the either the Alpine Cable or Cox Cable or Optimum or Suddenlink, whatever, all the different names. And right past to the left, you got Beauchene subdivision on the right, and right to the left, there's soccer fields out there. There's baseball fields, and so this would be a really good addition. I've been personally wanting to see tennis courts out there because Pineville really doesn't have, Pineville does not have any public tennis courts. And
Pineville High School is the closest thing to a public tennis court. LCU is not public; that's private.
Well, but Pineville High School doesn't take care of the tennis courts.
No, they don't.
And so
that is in the new bond that's supposed to be effectuated. But
I hope it is, because I'm a all-state Pineville High School tennis player. I mean, I hated to see those tennis courts just be in disrepair like that.
Well, they could probably solve that with the Matt Ritchie Tennis Complex, naming rights.
Hey, look, about 15 years ago when there was a couple of parents got together, and I did contribute to that effort. Where they I think they only done a couple of courts though, and so
that's right,
because it costs so much to do those. And so, long story short, I hope that they built this to where you could convert it into at least, because you could draw you can draw pickleball lines on a tennis court.
Just use different colors or something.
Yeah, you just use a different color, and you can actually play on one each side of the net. So you can actually have. So anyway, it could work. But long story short, those who are in the pickleball, you're going to have some more courts to play on at Ward 9. And so then I'm sure that's going to be exciting.
Can I give you some breaking news on that? There's actually going to be some new ones coming in also in the Beulah Lake Recreation area. Red River Waterway is going to be doing some pickleball courts down there.
Really?
I just heard
you
that.
Heard it here first.
That's right.
No kidding.
And that one that you're talking about, Ward 9, is actually a joint endeavor with the City of Pineville. City of Pineville's put up half the money for that. I thought it was going to be 8 courts, but it may be 6.
Well, if it is 8, they're getting a really good price for it. I can tell you that. A lot of times you see government contracts.
Right.
There's some profit in there for the contractor, but I can tell you, right now at $247,000, if you're getting 8 courts, that's a really good deal. So congratulations for whoever negotiated that.
That'd be a public bid. It would have gone through the public bid process. So a little bit more.
Well, there's not too many people building tennis courts.
Good point.
These days. That's the thing. There's probably, like, as a matter of fact, this guy Sam's, I know him. Personally, I know him, and so if you want to build a tennis court or do anything like that, that's kind of your go-to guy.
We've got hopefully time for one more call. Good morning. You're on Talk Back with Matt Ritchie.
Good morning. Really enjoy the show, Matt. I got a couple of quick questions for you. Any development on the Kmart situation over in Pineville, because they're fixing to tear up your main thoroughfare right there? And just wondering if you had any development. I hadn't listened to the whole show going back and forth.
Well, I appreciate it. No, and I did get the DOTD invited me to a meeting. They had some stakeholders who own property around there last Wednesday. Unfortunately, I was not in town to be able to attend that. But it's obviously going to impact traffic. God, I can't believe the show's over.
I know.
I'll be back, not on my regular schedule third Tuesday, but I'll be back on the 22nd.
Monday the 22nd, the next time with Matt Ritchie. So stick around. Caller, thank you so much for that. Matt, thank you for being here. And folks, come back tomorrow. It'll be Al and Steven. You'll enjoy it. Thanks for listening to Talk Back.